welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. My name is Stephanie. Obviously, Allison is not here today. This is a channel about cross stitch, and I have some sad news, and then I have some good news, and then I have some stitching. So the first, I'll just rip the band-aid off. So Allison got a promotion at work. I don't know if we've talked about that on the channel. We talked about that she got a new job and she's working at a nonprofit that helps people who are blind, and she loves it, and she got a promotion to a position she really wanted. But it's the kind of promotion where you don't get to not do your other job. They give you more money, but you have now 2 jobs. And she loves her job so much, and it's all she wants to do and think about. So she asked, well, she told me, she didn't ask, she didn't need to ask. You don't need to ask for something like that. She just told me straight up, I need to take a guest role on the Flosstube for now, because she just really doesn't have time for anything outside of work right now. And also that is 100% where her heart is right now. And if you, those of you who have watched this for a long time and love Allison, know that her work is very important to her, and it's also like something she's very good at. So I'm happy for Allison that she is loving her job and doing so well, and obviously sad that I won't get to spend Sunday afternoons with her because she just really doesn't have the time. She does want to stay as a guest, though. She's not like never gonna be here, but she just needs to not have an obligation to do it. And because of our schedules, there's really only 1 day a week that we can both record. And so she just needs her Sundays back. So we have 3 videos that we are still like scheduled to film. We have to film our Make It Murder. On Sunday, we're gonna film our Make It Murder reveal because we're done, and I'm so excited to, I love mine, but I'll talk about that later. So we gotta film our Make It Murder reveal. We're gonna film the other half of the Saved LNS parade on Sunday. And then as soon as we're both done with our Babylon leather bags, we have to film like a wrap up of that, because it'd be so weird to film like the start of it and then never show you guys the end of it. So she definitely will be here for 3 more videos in the next like 6 weeks. So she's not going away. And there have been many weeks where I have been the only person doing videos, because if we miss Sunday, then we miss the whole week. So, and we've talked about her like making sure that she's around for like the free pattern videos and the most expensive videos, our finished parade and our state fair stuff. So there's things she's going to be around for. She just needs to be out of the weekly obligation. And so I'm very happy for her, but I'm going to miss our Sundays. I'm still going to see her, obviously, but it won't be the exact same for me. So if you want to leave a message for her in the comments, because she's not on social media at all anymore for sanity reasons. Like, it's probably a good idea for us all. But anyway, if you want to leave her a message in the comments, she will see the comments, and she'll probably reply under Allison at the moment. If she replies, she'll reply under her name, Allison at the moment. So definitely leave her a comment if you want to tell her anything. But she'll be around. She just won't be on 100 videos a year. With that being said, we announced already that we're going to do a membership. We're going to test out doing a membership because we're both needing more community. And now I need even more community than that, because that was like the one adult social thing that I did a week. I don't have a lot of kid-free time, and all the hours I have that are kid-free time kind of have to count for something. And so running a YouTube channel with my sister was a great way to get out of the house and do something. So we talked about doing a membership for Zoom, on Zoom, as a once a month like Stitch with me, Stitch Together, Zoom Stitch. But now I'm going to need to do it more than that. So what I'm thinking is now is we launched the membership. A few of you guys already signed up. When we didn't announce that it was open, I just like literally opened it on YouTube. So that, thank you. And that's so cool. If you want to join the membership, it's $5.99 a month. I originally said it was going to be $5. They don't let you do $5 for some reason. So it's $5.99. It is going to be a weekly Zoom chat at 12 Central Standard Time. My ex takes the kids at 11:30. They don't really get out the door till 11:45. That gives me 15 minutes to like do my hair and make sure I don't have like stuff in my teeth and log on. So it'll be at 12 Central Standard Time in the US. That's 1 Eastern. That is 10 Pacific. And then if you want to like get technical, I think that's like 6 p.m. London most of the time, except during daylight savings time, and like 8 p.m. in Bulgaria. So there should be a lot of places in the world where that works. But I know it doesn't work for everyone because some people already told me like, hey, we're in Australia and we love you, but there's just no way to make that work. So we're going to do weekly Zoom chats on Sundays where you log in. Those are not going to be recorded. There's no like playback later. You don't have to worry about like anything about it. It's just literally like get together and stitch and chat. And I know that doesn't work for everybody, but then I'm also going to commit to a minimum of 1 YouTube, like membership only YouTube live where it's a Stitch with me. I got to figure out the technology on that. So, whether that is pre-recorded and then I think what I'd like to do is it go live, but to members only once a month for an hour where I announce the time ahead of time. But then if you can't be there, and that one will have to move around. And if you can't be there, then you can watch it later. That's what I would like to do as if I record it while I'm stitching live. If that doesn't work technologically and I have to film a stitch with me and then make it a member video, then when it premieres, I would be in the comments. But anyway, for people who are looking for more community and want to have that community as Stitchy community with me in particular and like help me not feel like when you have little kids, you're just never, you know, some of you guys know, and like, I love my children. I would never tell someone who wants children not to have children because their younger years are a little bit lonely, but there's just no way around it because it's like time with them is like wonderful, but it is not your social time. And then there's time where you'll be socializing with people, but you're watching your kids, and that doesn't fill my tank either because I'm just like what are they gonna do? So anyway, so if you want to do community, if you want to have some community with me in particular, our membership will be there. It'll be Sunday Zoom chats. We're gonna start the second Sunday of May. So the second Sunday of May, because the first Sunday of May is Spring Mingle, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to go or not. I almost bought a ticket. I would like to go. It's just a matter of like, does it like for Jingle Ball and Midsummer Stitch, I get childcare. Like I pre-arranged for extra childcare, and I haven't done that for this weekend. So I don't know if I'm going to do that because I don't know how much I'm really going to be able to be on. But I don't want to take away from anybody who wants to do it. I don't want to conflict with that this weekend. So, shoot. Okay. And the second Sunday of May is Mother's Day. So we're going to start on the third Sunday of May. We're going to start May 18th. In the future, when there are things that pop up that are on Sundays, like a Mother's Day or whatever, we'll have time to reschedule those that week. There may be the occasional one that has to get skipped, but most of the ones that fall on a bad Sunday, like if Christmas fell on a Sunday or something, we would just move it. But we'd have time to move it, whereas right now I'm not going to move the first one. So we're just going to start May 18th. So you can sign up on YouTube. I did see through someone else that don't sign up on YouTube through the iPhone app. If you can help it, they charge more. The same thing they're doing to Patreons. If you can't, you can use the membership through your iPhone YouTube app all the time. But when you sign up for it on a laptop. And I believe it's a little bit less expensive. Like I think they're trying to charge surcharges. Like what I'm telling you is the membership on my end is $5.99. And if you sign up on a laptop, that plus taxes should be all you see. If you go to sign up on an iPhone and it shows you another fee, go do it on your laptop. And I will be like I'll be announcing, like, I'll try to post on Instagram and stuff, like, you know, starting soon or whatever. Like, I want people to feel like they're getting stuff out of it, because I know that is a commitment. And also you can quit anytime if your schedule changes and you can't do it. But the hope is that by having at least one, like, members only, like, Stitch With Me a month on YouTube too, that it accommodates people who can't make that time. And then I like to make a lot of videos, and so sometimes I feel like I overwhelm YouTube with how many videos I want to make personally, but I know enough of you guys really like them that I don't want to take that away from me and you, but everyone else is like, what is she doing? So if I having a membership will also let me put some things on there. Like if I just want to do if I do a Organize With Me on the channel, and then the next day I want to do another one because I have more of a mess, then I can put it on the membership and not feel guilty. So I intend to do more stuff in the membership than just the Stitch With Me's. But as far as a commitment, because again, I'm a single parent with little kids, as a commitment, we're going to do Sundays at 12 Central for 1 hour Zoom chat and at least 1 hour of Stitch With Me on the membership on YouTube for those that can't, for anyone, but because I know some of you guys can't make that. Okay, so that's Allison and that's the membership. So, okay, so that was some bad news and then some good news. The good news about the membership too is that, because Allison can't film anymore, that means I probably will film more of my Flosstube stuff on Mondays. So that leaves me some time on Sundays to do fun membership-y things. So that's where that changes. All right, let's dig in. So the first thing we like to do, and I'm going to continue to say we until we see, I'm going to leave her up. It's still our channel. She just wants to be a guest, the guest role. So I'm the host. She'll be the guest, but I'm going to leave her up and everything. If you're talking about it, you could still say it's sisters. It's just one of them is on significantly more than the other. And I will try to get her on some Stitch With Me Zooms. If you sign up for the membership and you're like, well, if Allison's not going to be on them, I'm not interested. It won't hurt my feelings if you quit. Anyway, okay, so we like to start with mentions to thank people who recommended our channel or part of our channel. It really helps us grow. That is how people find out about Flosstubes, is through other people's Flosstubes for the most part. But I do have one that is different. So if you got the summer issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine, I normally get these in my Libby app. This is actually the first time I've ever held a copy of the actual magazine. But I got this one in the mail because they interviewed me. Dude, that's not the right term. They saw my first fabric organization video and they liked my system, and they had an article about different fabric organization systems. So they asked if they could get a picture of my system. So I took this. Now, obviously this is before the great big destash. I still have 2 boxes of fabric. It's just like all of my linen fits in one of them now. And then the other one has a bunch of different cuts of Aida, but I don't know. Anyway, but you guys also saw me set one of these up for Allison. So I still highly recommend this system. I personally want to be a 1-box girl, but as far as the system goes, I really like it. This article is cool though. It has lots of different options if you're looking for fabric organization systems. And what they said about me was Stephanie of YouTube channel Cross Stitch the Globe organizes her fabric on comic book boards. Scan the QR code or visit her YouTube channel to see how the system works for her. So that was really cool. The article is called Summer Sort Out, A Stitcher's Guide to Fabric Organization by Elizabeth Jenkins Beatty. It might be Batty, but I think it's Beatty. And I know they did in the spring there was one about, I think, floss organization. So they're probably going to be doing, I don't know if they'll get to pattern organization, but interesting series. Obviously love Just Cross Stitch magazine. I'm not going to do a flip through because you're like, you do flip throughs all the time. Just flip through it. I'm not going to because I tend to do the flip throughs of the vintage magazines. And Laura from Stitching by the Shore does very thoughtful, very thorough just cross stitch magazine flip throughs. So I will tag her channel below. Go check her out if you want to see, because she really like thinks about every single pattern. Is like, you could do it on this fabric. What would it look like on this fabric? You could do just this part. And I don't have time to do that today. But the second part of that sprouting lupine stitch along is in here. And there's also some, I mean, like, there's just some really good stuff in here. Let's see. But here's that. I know a lot of people are doing the stitch along, and the second half is, second quarter of it's here. So thank you, Just Cross Stitch Magazine, for including my photograph and telling people to check out the channel. And if I don't know how many people would actually see that and come to the channel already, like from that, but if you somehow found me through that article, please tell me, because that would really be interesting to me. All right. And then the other mentions. So we haven't filmed for 3 weeks because of Easter. This is 3 weeks of mentions, so it's a little more than normal. Okay, so these are the channels that just recommended are like general channel. Books in the Moon, Kate B. Stitching, who is, I think only on like their 4, no, Kate B. Stitching was new to me. I don't remember what number of video it was, but it was new to me, and I did subscribe. And I checked them out, and they're very sweet. Jackie from Jax's Creative Inspirations, who is like extremely supportive and I don't deserve in my life. Callista from Bewitched Threads, she recommended our channel on her very first Flosstube, so go check her out, Bewitched Threads. Books in the Moon was on like, is also on a very early number of Flosstube. I think maybe 4. I think maybe they're on, she's on 4. And then Thistle and Thread, or a lot of these channels are newer to me, but some are also brand new. I don't remember exactly what number everyone was on. Callista, I know it was her first one. And somebody else, it was their 4th. And then somebody else was like maybe 5. But like all new. So if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. Thistle and Thread. Also recommend our channel. And so thank you guys so much. Blushing Pink Stitches did a really interesting unicorn kits video. And in it, she just mentioned that one of the kits that is on her unicorn list was a maker of kits that she learned about from our most expensive kits video last year, but it's not the one that was on the list, though it's not a cheap one. So that's cool. She has like great taste in kits, and if you like kit stitching, she lives in the UK, and she's a Dimensions girly. I think not the first video I ever saw first, but one of the first, or I don't remember what is time. But anyway, she has a great Dimensions kit parade if you want to like get jealous, experience FOMO. And then some people recommended our free patterns videos. Heather from Woolly Woolly Sheep Sheep. She owns an ONS. She runs an online needle workshop based out of Northern Ireland. So I know that's not a part of the world that has like a ton of like pop-in local needle workshops. So if you are someone who would find yourself comfortably ordering from an ONS in Northern Ireland, you should definitely check her out and support her. Betsy from Betslina Stitches. And she also commented on the fact that she likes that we have like an expensive pattern series and a free pattern series. And even though Allison is the free pattern girly and I'm the expensive pattern girly, though not like aspiration. Anyway, just because Allison is taking a guest role, that is one of the things we're definitely going to keep, because she would like not allow this channel to become too bougie. She would not allow it. Kylie from Rose Crafty Corner recommended our free spring patterns video, and then Natalia from Official Mermaids Cove. So thank you guys. And then Jamie from Nesting Steam Stitchery was thanking me for helping her on a fabric question, but was really sweet about it. And I didn't realize that I had actually helped her make a decision. So it was really nice to hear. So thank you guys so much for the channel mentions. And then I want to congratulate people who are celebrating milestones in the Flosstube community. Megan, the wide-eyed stitcher, she's I have mentioned her multiple times where people have come back and been like, okay, but what's her channel? When I tag her, her actual handle is Wide-Eyed Stitching Child, but she goes by Megan, the Wide-Eyed Stitcher, and she has the best glasses in Flosstube. So she is celebrating 6 years. And I mentioned her in our Babylon Leather DIY Kits video because she just put up a really good one. And then also we're doing a stitch along together. So you'll hear about her more later. And then the Flosstubes and Cousins celebrated 2 years on FlossTube, which is, considering how successful they are, is crazy that they've only been here for 2 years. And then Stitching May just celebrated 12 years on FlossTube. So like, yeah, that's amazing. And then happy birthday to Donna, who is stitchlex_x_love on Instagram. She is also the person that put together the Cupid Collective that we did, and she has been very supportive of the channel to a level that we do not deserve. The Busy Mom Stitcher celebrated a birthday. Alex from Salix Stitches, she also runs the Cross Stitch Calendar, had a birthday and had a really amazing birthday sal that was like Kathy Barrick houses. And I almost joined because I have a Kathy Barrick house. I got the Kathy Barrick Cardinal, it was her and Liz Matthews, the Jingle Ball exclusive, but I'm trying not to start extra stuff that's not on my list right now. But anyways, she can start whatever she wants because she finishes her stuff. So anyway, happy birthday, Alex. And then Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff has a birthday, and I spent some of my 24 hours of cross stitch catching up on her FlossTube channel. So happy birthday. And then I just found out today that today is Amy from Fiber Arts Amy and Oak Crown Studios' birthday, which is awesome. So I should stitch on the chatelaine, my chatelaine in celebration, but I don't have that restarted, and I'm not restarting that today. But happy birthday, Amy. And then, okay, so let's dig into stitching. I know that was a lot, but we had a lot of announcements. 24 hours of cross stitch. So it was this past weekend. There's 4 times a year. It's hosted by Quirks and Stitches. It always sneaks up on me. Next year I should like put it in the calendar. I decided on Friday night or Saturday morning to join because I literally just found out that it was happening. On me. It's a very well communicated event. I hadn't been paying attention. But I had stitched like 5 hours on Friday because I finished Hello Summer. And so I was like, yeah, well, I'll just see. And I got to 22 hours. Now, that wasn't 22 hours of pure stitching because I had some other stuff I had to do. So if I was counting anything that was cross stitch related. So I counted all my stitching, and then I also counted an hour of working on my Babylon Leather DIY kit because I need to finish it for the channel video. Because they gave us the kit, but part of it is like, okay, but you have to actually do it. You can't just like hold on to it. So, and then I also spent an hour organizing my craft room, which you can't tell. And then, but I did some important things in my craft room. And then I spent some of that time dyeing fabric for the Wings of Spring Shell, and I will show you that fabric in a little bit. So, finishes. I did finish Hello Summer by Erin Elizabeth Designs, but I finished it for the Make It Murder Sal. So you can't see it because Allison and I are going to film our reveals. I love it. I saved the changes till the end. I didn't do a ton of changes. I just really I took out 1 element and I added 3 elements. And I think it looks perfect for what I was wanting to accomplish. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. There were some other things that I had toyed with the idea of doing that I scrapped because I just decided I got what I wanted. So I'm excited to show you guys that. I'm still working on Frosted Tiny Town. I want to have that finished by Sunday as well, but if it's not finished, I have enough to do the reveal video. Because, you know, I don't actually have to finish 2, but I'm happy I finished that. So I did 1,600 stitches on that, but you can't see it. Here's what the original pattern looks like, but you can't see my version. All right, so new starts. I did not have any new starts. I was supposed to start the Wings of Spring Style. I decided at the last minute that I wanted to dye fabric for it because the recommended fabric is like, it's like, everyone's doing theirs on like a very pale sagey green or like a gray with like green undertones. and I don't have anything like that, and I'm a little sick of stitching on gray, and I didn't have anything that was light green, and the only green I have I'm saving for something else. So, but I have a ton of fabric, like vintage fabric, and then I have some Rit dye. So I was gonna do it on 28 count mushroom Lugana, which I think actually would have looked really good. I think the colors, you can see like this is what we have of the style so far off of Velvet Pony's Instagram. So I think those colors really would have popped on mushroom Lugana, but I just decided at the last minute to dye some fabric. So this is not a start, but I am going to show you the fabrics I dyed. I put them up on a poll up on Instagram, like which one should I do? And I actually think it would look really good on this. I like the red on pink. But even Madam Mistress Velvet Pony herself was like, do it on green. So I decided to do it on green. So I am going to do it on this. This was a pink that I over dyed with more pink. So that was like one of those like very 90s Charles Craft pinks. And the over dye I think looks so good on it. There's no place where you can see the original tone of the pink, but I'm very encouraged because sometimes you see those colored Adas and you just think like, no one's ever going to want to use that color. But over dyeing it, I think changed its life. And this was a piece I had got in a box. I think I spent like the equivalent of like 10 cents on it. And I already had the dye. So now the only thing is that I do think the corners or the folds where the fabric was folded did take the dye more than anywhere else. So I do, when I use this, need to be really thoughtful about where I place things on it. But to get this for the equivalent of like 10 cents, because I bought that red dye for another project and I've already, so now it's just sitting in there ready to use. So I thought that was good, and I will use this. I will find something to put that on, put on that. The other thing so this is the green that I dyed. This was like a gray, I think, because the green I had is neon. So this was a vintage gray. I thought that would be better than dyeing a white or a cream in terms of getting it to be a little softer than the neon green that it is. And I think it came out perfect. Like, I don't think anybody would see this and be like, oh yeah, you hand dyed that for the style. It's not quite right. Like, it is. I could have purchased this color for the style and everyone would be like, oh yeah. So I'm gonna do it on this, but I do think it would have looked good on this too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when I see the like final, because we only have 2 of the 6 parts, so maybe when I see part number 6, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad. But I'm really in a situation where I think it would have looked good on both. But nobody agreed with me. Only like 2 people voted in the Instagram poll for this one, so that is what it is. But I'm gonna start that today. But not a new start, but that is what I did for that project. All right, whips. Okay. Guys, I finished the skull. So this is Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife. This is the piece that I am stitching for my memorial piece for my dog Lucy that passed away in October. If you want to know the story about Lucy, it is the last 11 minutes of the Ask Us Anything video, which I'll link below. But I did 1,576 stitches and I finished the skull. And when I finished the skull, I was 0.2% away from 33% finished. So I like had to keep going because I had to reach 33%. So then I came over here and just did like a tiny bit on the border over here. But that skull looks really good. Some of you guys remember I said I lost the DMC pack for the skull. So when I found it, I just kind of went to town. And yeah, I mean, I'm only 33% done. This really big piece. But it's 33% and a skull finish is a nice little milestone. This project lives in this Lake House Stitch Co bag. The skull being done too also marks the end of, like, this whole skull is DMC except for the black, but most of the rest is these overdyes. So I gotta keep the 4 DMC with it for now, but I'm almost, they're all have very few stitches left at this point of those colors. And then I'm stitching it with this Duchess hoop. I think this is a 6-inch. No, this might be a 7-inch. But yeah, I was happy to make progress on this piece. There were a few nights I pulled it out because I was really sad. My sister's boyfriend, our other sister who lives in Kansas City came down, and her boyfriend came down, and his parents came down for Easter. And they have a Lhasa Apso dog that my dog was a Shih Tzu, and it's not the same, but it was hard. It's like, oh. So I've been really missing Lucy and been very sad. So it was good to get that out. All right, my next piece is Moonface Bell Pull. So this is a style that I'm doing where we stitch it on the full moon. I'm doing it with Jen from Jen's Fiberweb, Amy from Amy Loves Toads, and Megan from Megan the Wide-Eyed Stitcher. And I was behind last month, so I got caught up. So now I am up to date. So April was, 33% of the year, and I am 33% of the way through this project, slightly over. Hate these trees, hate them so much because I attacked them wrong. So I started by going all the way across, which makes sense. But at a certain point, if you start getting off on where the spaces and stuff go, this tree has to line up with the middle of the point. And so this middle tree is very important. So when I realized I was off, I stopped, stitched the middle tree up, then did these trees, and then came back and did these trees. Now, I was excited to get into the moons. It was fun to stitch something not black. And this is one of those pieces that I don't think it looks very good when I'm actually sitting there stitching it. I think my stitches look bad. And then when I stop and I actually look at it, I'm like, oh, actually this kind of looks amazing. I am not loving the white. I think they look really good in the camera actually, but like up close, I don't really like all this white. And I really think I might change it to beads. I haven't fully committed yet to that, but I'm not going to stitch on it anymore until I make a decision. Stitch any more of the white stars until I make a decision. So yeah, so this in May, this will come back out and get its like 640 stitches. And this is an easy one for me to pull out when my kids are like around but more chill, because this border doesn't take any concentration to get perfect. But I mean, I'm really enjoying this piece. I think I said it's by Tiny Modernist. I'm not sure. It lives in this repurposed cosmetic bag. I'm stitching it with this tiny little 4-inch Duchess hoop that's so cute. I was going to get this into a bigger project bag now that I've been given some project bags at Stitchy Kindness. I have project bags that it could go in, but actually I kind of like this size bag for it because this is the kind of project I would take to my parents' house, because that border is something I can stitch. I've been having trouble stitching to my parents because my 2-year-old is like just ungovernable right now. But over Easter, my other sister was there and her boyfriend and my brother and his girlfriend. There were so many adults there that I actually could sit and stitch because like it was like there was time. So anyway, so I'm gonna just keep it in here because also like the goal of this is to have it done at the end of the year. So why switch it for 7 months? Oh, I was behind on that. So I did 1,344 stitches on that to get caught up. And then this is Stitch for Pride 2025 by D's 20 Stitches. And I finished March. Now, is it the end of April? It is. Do I have January and February on here? Either. I don't. But getting March done was a really big deal. I was having a hard time getting into the stitching on here. It's a 32 count fabric. It's not dark, but it acts, my eyes treat it like it's a dark fabric. It's dark enough that I feel like you can see, it's dark enough, but it's not as dark as the like called for. And I didn't do that on purpose because I would never have been able to see that. But when I look at this, my eyes just feel like it's dark. And so I made myself get out every day until my eyes started adjusting to it better. And so then I was just doing like 60 stitches a day, and then I turned the corner and did like 500 one day to get March done. So this is a Stitch for Pride this year. The theme this year is trans history. This is a motif that represents Shuqin, who was a female revolutionary. She, in China at the beginning of the 20th century, she nicknamed herself the errant knight of Mirror Lake. It's a lot of times translated as woman knight, but one of the videos I watched said errant knight, which I thought was more interesting than woman knight in terms of like, was she calling herself a female knight and making that distinction, or was she just calling herself a knight, and someone else was like, well, women can't be knights, so it would happen. And anyway, it was very interesting. One of the videos I watched talked a lot about, so I talked about her last time, so I won't go over all the things I talked about, but in the research or in the materials that I was watching this time, they talked about how she used like male clothing and gender boundaries and gender play to create a different impression for herself. But it wasn't just that, it was also she was using Western clothes and they didn't quite fit her right. And it was just very interesting about like how she chose what she would wear and how using like how she wanted people to take her. Sorry, I got interrupted. Sorry, I got interrupted by an alarm that I set for myself that I forgot about. So it was just really interesting. And obviously this Stitch for Pride this year is about trans history, but something that is very important. It's like, if you don't have the right to project whatever place on the spectrum of gender you want to project at the time, then it just felt very like, you know, it felt very prescient, even though it is funny to be like, well, she was fighting for totally different things and in a very different type of society. But when you look at like UK, what's happening in the UK right now, and like what that means in terms of like, so they've decided that trans women can't use women's bathrooms, but then there are also some places where trans women can't use men's bathrooms. So then that means they're just shut out of public life. And you think about how like what she was fighting for, and part of what she was fighting for with dressing in male clothes was the right to exist in a public life at all. Like, you just see the thread of history and how things can be connected. And that was a tangent, but that was kind of like where I was going there, like while I was stitching, what I was thinking about when I was watching the videos. There's a $5 documentary that I do want to buy and watch, so I'm not really done learning about her. I just didn't have time to do that this weekend. But and then I watched this really beautiful concert that the learning materials Dee puts with this are so good and comprehensive. It's just crazy, like the value and the effort that goes into this. And they are doing a giveaway on their channel, and I don't think they've recorded the next video. So if you are feeling a little Stitch for Pride FOMO, I would definitely go check out Dee's 20 Stitches latest YouTube, because I don't think, if you're seeing this kind of like when I'm putting this video out, because I don't think they're close to having to filming their next one, which means that you can probably still enter that competition. It lives in this 805 stitcher bag, and I'm stitching it on 32 count steel by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using Algae Ross's dyed floss for the cell. Okay. Oh, my Make It Murder lived in here. I just it's not in there right now. It's sitting over there with the frame that it's going to go in. All right, the last thing I pulled out Oh, so Stitch for Pride, I did almost 1,100 stitches. And then Cooper's Christmas Memories, I did 281 stitches. This was a January Whipco call, but I got behind, and I did spend some time figuring out what my plans are going to be going forward. So, because I still want to do the plans that I set for myself for the year, but I've been like thrown off. So I refigured like how I'm going to like refocus on them. And one of the things I'm going to do is I missed Whipco for February, March, April. So last night, instead of picking one of those up, I decided just to finish this January Whipco call so that I could check that off. And then I'm going to pick up in May. I'm going to do the ones that I got called in May, which are Bright Spirits by Heartstring Stamperly and Pere Noel by Hands On Designs. And then I'm going to take one of the 6 that I missed, which I picked Christmas Bear Ornament by Stacey Nash. So those are going to be what I work on in May for Whipco. And then, so then it'll take me a few months to get caught up, but I will eventually get caught up. And then my Whipco calls are, so I'm doing Jingle Ball Bauble Whipco. So I made a board of all things from the Jingle Ball Baubles books, which are these 3 books. They're exclusive to the Jingle Ball, but some of the ones from some of the older books are now available from the designers. So I made a board for that, and obviously I would like to finish the ornaments, but I can't. My goal is 500 stitches. So what I decided I'm going to do is, for ones like this where I didn't finish him, instead of finding other time to finish him this year, I'm going to leave him in his spot for my next year's Whipco board, and I'll just keep going. And honestly, I hated stitching him. He's so fiddly. He is so fiddly. I don't really like this kind of fiddly stitching. Now, I did get a lot of the fiddly bits done. So there is a lot of lock stitching now that I'm closer to the outside. But I'm doing the other one that's like him, that's the girl. And I am not looking forward to her, and I'm not looking forward to picking him back up. I will love when he's done, but I really hated working on him. Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is my first time stitching anything by them. I do think their patterns, to me, look a little bit fiddly for my taste in patterns. But this one is small, so it's just a little bit extra fiddly. I'm stitching it with this 6-inch spring top Gibbs Co hoop. And yeah, I won't miss him. I won't miss him till next year. Part of why I got behind on Whipco is just I had no time. And part of why I got behind on Whipco is that I just did not enjoy stitching him. So the ones that got called for this much are much more relaxing, like, you know, pick your own color palette, don't stress it too much, just like get the stitches in, and I'm happy about that. It lives in this beautiful Teresa Kogut Christmas fabric bag that I got from my friend Kat from Whittier Stitches made it for me, and I just call it my Santa's workshop, and basically the things that are in here are Santa related. Allison and I did our video about starting our leather kits. I got it back out. I only want to work at it when my kids are not around because the needles are really sharp and they just kind of run at me. And there have been times when I've been like, oh man, I'm so glad cross stitch needles aren't that sharp. But these are sharp. So I worked on this for about an hour yesterday, and I did the decorative stitches on the top and the decorative stitches in these holes. Allison and I decided to give ourselves a few more weeks so that we can enjoy stitching the bags instead of trying to like hurry up and get it done. It is the nicest smelling project that I have. It's so good. So I'm really loving that. And yeah. So it lives in this nice tote. My sister gave me this tote bag and said, like, my other sister, and said, I don't need it, but it's a really nice one. So like either only take it if you're really going to use it. And I love this tote bag, but then I put this project in it when I was at Allison's, and now I feel like it spiritually lives in here until it's done. And it's a Birkin bag, so it's a very nice handbag, so it can live in, I mean, it's not an Hermes Birkin bag, but it's still like a very nice handbag, and so it can live in this very nice tote bag. All right, so those are my whips. Okay. Plans. Okay, so I told you guys what my WIPCO plans are. I told you I'm going to start Wings with Spring today, and that is by Velvet Pony, and that was gifted to me, and Jen from Jen's Fiberweb is also doing it and is flying through it. So if you want to see someone actually like keep up, I'm not going to ever keep up with it or anything in my life. But if you want to see someone keeping up with it, go check out Jen's channel. And then Spring Mingle, I told you guys I'm not sure if I'm going. When I redid my plans, when I looked at my 2024-5 plans, and I just kind of shuffled them around because a lot of them were, the order of the projects were picked based on like the calendar, but it's gonna be May. So I tried to figure out how could I still accomplish most of it in 2025, but some of it just needs to be shuffled. So instead of picking up as a BAP, instead of picking up a big project, I was going to start with Village of Hawkwind Hollow and do that the first half of the year and then pick up Christmas stockings. But instead I'm going to pick up a Christmas stocking because I'd really like to enter a Christmas stocking at the state fair this year, which means I need to finish a Christmas stocking. So I need to focus on that in May, June, July. So I have time to like sew it up and stuff in August. So so in May, the whips that you guys haven't seen in a while that were on my plans for the year are, I'm going to pull out a Christmas stocking. I think I'm going to pull out my daughter's because it's further along. And then the Golden Delicious by Artsy, Housewife, and Secret Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews are both going to get a lot of attention. And then May is Mirabilia May. And I wasn't going to do a Mirabilia whip parade this year. And then I decided I am. I really want to. When I was making my Mira May plans, I was just like, you know what? I want to get out all my mirrors and pet them. So on Wednesday, I'm going to record a Mirabilia whip parade. I'm not going to pull out every pattern, and I'm not going to do a pattern parade or a stash parade, but I am going to go through my 11 Mirabilia whips and tell you which are, and talk about my new start and show you the kit for my new start, the fabric for my new start. I haven't pulled a lot for it, but so I'm going to go over my new start for Mira May, what my plans are for Mira May in that video, and then I'm going to go through my 11 Mirabilia whips and show those. So that will be on Thursday. You'll see that on Thursday. I'm so happy to be done with all of these like small assignment stitching, almost done, and get into these big plans. So Flosstube University. So Allison and I do tutorials. I will continue to do tutorials, but just give us a few more weeks to get it together to start doing them again. But Flosstube University is both where we share lessons on how to do cross stitch on Flosstube, and then also share things that we learned on Flosstube. And this week, Beige Flannel, she's like a general crafting channel, and thrifting, not specifically Flosstube, but she did a video about cross stitching a wicker lamp that was really good. I shared the reel of it on my Instagram stories, but there's a full YouTube video, so I will link that below. And then I got so into Flosstube during 24 hours of cross stitch. I was telling myself, like when I was doing it, I made myself just stay in it. It was so good. I caught up with Jen the Caffeinated Crafter. I caught up with Crafty. Now, did I leave comments on any of these channels? No, I didn't. Not a single person I watched knows that I was there. I was always trying to put a like because it's easy to do a like from the TV, but it's harder to comment. So normally I comment on my laptop, and I wasn't to that level of organized. But I watched Jen the Caffeinated Crafter. I watched Crafty Emily. I watched Jen's Fiberweb. I watched let me pull it up and see. Actually, I watched so many good ones. I watched Bright and Dusty, Savory Sewing, Sarah Stitchy Spot, Jessie Marie Does Stuff, Wild Fox Stitchery, Blushing Pink Stitches, The Diddy Stitcher, Mandy Parker. I mean, I watched so much Flosstube, and it was so good for my soul. Keeps me from doom scrolling. And also keeps me motivated to continue stitching. So that was so nice. Okay, so, and And then so as far as like watching Flosstube, I feel like that was really good for me to just like be back watching Flosstube. But then also Criminally Creative had a kit parade. So we like to share parades when we see ones that are good. There's a few other parades that have come out, like what parades and stuff that are on my to watch list. But I did watch Criminally Creative's kit parade and it was really good. She's got kits on kits on kits, some pre-made, some that she has created, like kitted up, like just good stuff. Okay, Stitchy Kindness. So I got a lot of Stitchy Kindness. I got two things two packages of things that I'm going to show you guys. And then 3 other people. So I got 2 packages of like Stitchy accessories and such that I'm going to show you guys. I also got 3 boxes, separate packages that were boxes. Emily, Holly, and Megan are 3 people who reached out to me that I have talked to via Floss. Well, I talked to them on Instagram, but about Flosstube stuff in different capacities. And they reached out to me and said that they love to thrift and they had a bunch of thrifted patterns and stuff that they didn't really want to deal with getting rid of themselves. So they sent them to me to list in my Etsy DStash shop, which is so generous. And also the packages are, all 3 of them are like minimum this thick, and all 3 of them are very cool. So they deserve separate videos as vintage pattern parades. And also whenever I show you guys that kind of stuff, I want to already have it listed. So if anybody falls in love with it, it's there, instead of like me showing it and then listing it randomly a week later and they don't know about it. So that stuff is in piles over here to make videos of. So that is Stitchy Kindness. Thank you guys so much. But I'm not going to show it today. I have 2 things I want to show you guys. The first is Erin from Cat on Creations. You know her, you love her. She's also on the Steel City Stitchers. She sent me the spring kitten. She sent me the link so I could pick out the pieces that I wanted, or the way it works is like the tin and the scissors and the needle minder are just kind of like you get what you get themed, but you pick out the patterns that you want, and there are options to pick out like 4 patterns. I think there's an option for 6, I'm not sure, and then there's an option to get like all the patterns as a download with 4 of them as kits. So I figured I'd do a little unboxing today. She sent one to Allison too. Allison is not here, obviously, so I will show Allison's on another video, or maybe when I'm over there on Sunday, we'll just film like a tiny little short or something, because sometimes she and I pick out different patterns. So comes in the mail like this. And how cute is that? And look, oh, the little logo. Candy, not gonna eat it now, but want to. Sip of Energy, black tea with herbs, little tea pack. Hi friends, thank you so much for purchasing one of my 10 sets. Now mine was a gift, but this is the same as you would get if it was a gift or if you purchased it. And supporting this little idea of mine. I'm so excited that you're part of this journey. I hope these tips and tricks will help you with your final assembly. Please feel free to contact me through Instagram or email anytime you're feeling stuck. If you prefer a PDF version of any of the purchase charts, please reach out to me. And then it's instructions for how to finish the patterns, because each kit comes with the pattern. Now I'm not going to show you what the patterns are, but I will put up a picture usually on Instagram. I haven't pulled it yet, but usually she takes like a picture of all the patterns for that release. So each kit, so you get 4 kits, or the version I did 4 kits. I do think there's a 6 kit option. Anyway, it comes with the fabric. If you don't like stitching on Aida, you could easily take one of your own scraps of anything. And I might try to do that this time, because I have so many little scraps. But it comes Aida. It comes with a wooden tag and a board that you finish the piece around so that you can finish it as a little ornament. And it comes with all the DMC you need to stitch that pattern. So that's what comes in the little pouches. And I got bear flowers, Gnarly Goose. Oh, gardening like a gate, and this one's like a wheelbarrow with flowers in it. And then, so you get the 10. So what I do is I will take the floss, the pattern, and the fabric for one of these and put it in the 10. And I usually keep the rest of them in my car. Erin's been really generous and has sent us a lot. So I have a lot on deck that are scattered about. So I've got some in my car. I've got every purse that I use has one in it. Like I can never be out of my house without something to stitch. So here's the 10 with the little logo on it. And so every 10 comes with scissors. So every time she sent me one, she sent me scissors. So I've got a lot of these cool scissors. These are great travel scissors. Unless you're going on an airplane, don't take them on an airplane. But as far as like just having them out, and then also my little kids don't know what they are, so they don't hurt themselves. It comes with a needle end and felt, and then it comes with a needle minder that she makes. And my needle minder this time is so pretty. Flowers. That's really pretty. And the way that I do it for these is the only time I stitch in hand. I'll stitch in hand. And I will use the needle minder to hold my pattern up when I'm like in the car stitching, as opposed to actually putting on the fabric because the fabric's so small. So that is what comes in a kitten, and you guys know I'm very excited about this. When people like email and say like, do you want something or whatever, if I don't really want it, I will say no, because I don't have time for stuff I don't want. And I really like these kits, and Allison really likes them, and I don't show them as whips usually because I don't stress about them. It's like completely found stitching time. Like I only pull them out when I'm like in a carpool or like stuck somewhere where I didn't expect to be stuck. So to me, it's like totally extra enjoyable stitching. And so it's so nice to be, it's not a bad, whenever I see a message from Erin, I'm like, okay. And then her patterns are so little and cute. The only thing I do think is I might switch to scraps because I have, like, the Ada is great, but because I have so much little scraps of linen and Lugana, I might go ahead and do that just from an aesthetic purpose of when they're finished. But holding the Ada in hand because it's stiff isn't very hard either. So, all right. So that is my kitten. And then the other Stitchy Kindness I got is really exciting. And I'm sad I didn't get to show Allison this because she didn't know about this, and I was going to just fully surprise her. Normally I would not read a card, and there are parts of this that I'm not going to read, but I'm going to read some of it because Erin reached out and said specifically that she was a project bag maker, but that she connected with me about the fact that she loves to go thrifting, and she will find, well, she finds lots of stuff. Like if you followed her on Instagram, she will share like lots of stuff that she's thrifting, not just stitchy stuff, but she will find like cutter quilts that really can't be saved and turn them into project bags. So she was like, do you want a thrifted quilt project bag? Has anything ever sounded more like something that I would be like, yes, I do actually need a thrifted quilt upcycled into a gorgeous project bag. Like, please, like, okay. So let me read the parts that are appropriate to read and share with you guys. So when she messaged me about it, it was obviously like, you know, I'd love to send you a project bag, and would you share it with on your Flosstube? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. She said, about me, I'm a military wife and mother of 7 kids aged 3 to 12, 1 set of twins. And I'm completely overwhelmed with the 2 and 5-year-olds, so I can't imagine. She said, my grandmother taught me to quilt. I just read that like I couldn't read. My grandmother taught me to quilt and sew at a young age, and I've always loved needlework. I found cross stitch through the Fat Quarter Shop in 2020. It's so fun to collect and stitch, but I don't have much stitching time, as you can imagine. I can't figure out how you like have time to breathe or shower. I am also a passionate thrifter, and it has led me to my new obsession, making discarded textiles into beautiful and useful items. I have loved following you each along on your journey with needlework. And then she says some like really sweet complimentary things that I'm not going to share. So she is stitching with bears. So if you are like a thrifted, upcycled quilts and other textiles into like if this, I will link her Instagram below. If she, I don't know actually how you purchase them, if you purchase them through Etsy or if you purchase them via her Instagram. I think it must be Etsy, but I'm not 100%. So I'm going to link her Instagram below. Go follow her and then you'll see the stuff as it comes out. Like, okay, so she sent me 4 bags, 2 for me and 2 for Allison, and we could pick which ones we wanted. But can you even believe? So I 100% know I'm going to kit up my Mira May New Start in this one. So I'm definitely keeping this one. I'm going to bring the other 3 to Allison and let her pick the 2 that she wants, and then I'll take the other one. So there's that patchwork, then this, and look at this. So you can see that this flower is coming off a little bit. To me, that is so special, because to me what that says is this was not like a quilt that was like, somebody was like, oh, I want to cut up quilts. Let me find quilts to cut up and I'll cut up anything. It's like, no, this needed to be saved by someone who could see the beauty in it. And the front is perfect. And this one is perfect. And you just have this little spot of wear that really tells you that this fabric had like a life. And like nothing is more special to me than, I mean, like, oh, I haven't even been showing you guys the inside fabric. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So, I mean, it's so generous, first of all, but also just like, what a nice thing to be putting into the world. So like, obviously this is not a quilt. This is, but it is an upcycled, very cool textile. I mean, it's nuts. I don't want to fight Allison on this one, so I am gonna let her pick which 2 she wants of the other 3, but that is really crazy good. Check her out. Oh, she also sent these cute little, I don't know if they're technically Easter eggs, but like they seem like Easter eggs, but they also seem like they could just be like spring decor. So I'll let Allison pick out which one she wants of these, because I am getting first dibs on the bags. But like, how generous was that? So Stitching with Bears. Please go check her out if you love project bags and like thrifting and like, I mean, just like the creativity in these. Like, this is a handmade card. It's like fabric eggs cut out. Because obviously we were supposed to film this a few weeks ago. So thank you, or we were supposed to film this a week and 1 day ago. But anyway, thank you so much, Erin. I'm so touched. I can't. Oh, and then I wanted to use the other one for Wings of Spring. Maybe I'll just start using both and then Allison can tell me. I'll send her pictures. She can tell me via picture, because I think I want to put my Wings of Spring in the other one. I think I want to have both, because they're both so like delightfully springy that it feels like a Mira May Start and a Wings of Spring style just like belong in these bags. So I'll ask Allison which one she wants and use the other one. Okay, so that was Stitchy Kindness. Could not be more overwhelmed. And then I know also somebody sent Allison Stitchy Kindness to give to me. She hasn't given that to me yet. So we didn't make like plans to figure out anything else. So I'm assuming so if there's a piece of, if you sent her a piece of Stitchy Kindness to give to me, she told me that there is one, but not what it is. And so we'll deal with that next week. Maybe next week I'll have her open her kitten and she can give me whatever the Stitchy Kindness was. And then I'll insert that into the next floss tube. Problem solved. Okay. Haul. I got 2 pieces of haul. I only spent $1 on them total. So don't get mad at me for breaking my no buy. And they're both Stitchy adjacent. So this is a book called Shelfie Clutter Clearing Ideas for Stylish Shelf Art. And I bought it to stick in my antique booth. I don't know if we filmed it. I think we filmed right before I opened the antique booth last. So I opened an antique booth. I've been really busy and my kids have been really sick and this month has been crazy. But anyway, so I bought this and I originally was going to just put it in my antique booth because in my antique booth I have a lot of like coffee table books and really beautiful books and like vintage cooking. Things that like you both want to read and you can style with. But then I was reading this and actually I'm totally going to keep it. Partially because I love shelf styling. So it's very funny because it's very last decade, but also still feels modern. So it's about like how to style shelves, which you would think is like very intuitive, but it's also interesting to read about it as like a theory. And then it's also full of all these beautiful photos of like vignettes. And it's by Martha Roberts. It's from, I think, 2017. And it's about like Instagram shelfies, which even though I'm on Instagram chronically and have like 10 Instagram accounts, I have 3 Instagram accounts that I regularly sign into, but I have more than that. Anyway, so, and I need to start another one. Even though I'm chronically online, I hadn't really heard or seen the phenomenon of the shelfie as like a shelf, like other than just like things being styled. Anyway, I think it's really cool. And the reason I'm showing you guys this haul is because I think it also is going to help me. This is going to sound stupid, but it's going to help me take better photos and style cross stitch that is like on my shelf better, and doubles and things like that, and making vignettes that include cross stitch items and non-cross stitch items in a way that your house doesn't like become a cross stitch museum. I'm more comfortable on walls, even though this wall looks a little crazy right now, but like I've got cross stitch and sports equipment and maps and stuff. But like, so actually as a book, I really liked it. So I will link to this book on Amazon if you're interested in seeing like the title and stuff. I don't know if it's available on Libby, but it might be. Obviously, I got this at a thrift store, so I'm not saying you can only buy it on Amazon, but I'm just going to say I'm going to link to it there so you can see the information, but buy it wherever you want to buy it. And then the other piece of haul I got for free. It's not Stitchy Kindness because I found it on the side of the road. I live in a town with like 12 antique stores, maybe more. It's an antiquing. I live in a town where the highway sign says like antiquing. And there's a house a couple blocks from me that has been cleaning out a garage, and they're right by a bed and breakfast at an antique store. And so I don't know. I think the garage is actually in the bed and breakfast, not in like the private home. But anyway, they've been like cleaning it out, and they have a sign outside that says free stuff. And every few days they have stuff out. And I have gotten a gorgeous mirror and a cool side table that I'm using in my living room. And then I went back and there was like an art print, a humidifier that had never been opened, like some cool stuff. But one of the things was this framed piece of needlework. That is all embroidery. Now this calligraphy stamp, I couldn't find any information. I don't know if this is like a common touristy piece or if this has any value. I couldn't find anything about it, but it's beautiful and I'm not planning on selling it. Anyway, I'm going to keep it. Look at that ladybug. Now it's a little bit dirty. It needs, on the outside, like it needs a Windexing, but also I feel like the inside could be like tightened up. You know, and I have no idea how old it is, but it is, I do think it is a little bit older. And I don't think this is a custom frame. I think this is like a frame that they bought and assembled, but I don't know. But again, it was free, and I do think I'm just going to put it up on the wall. So I would love to take it apart and tighten it up and stuff, but I'm also kind of afraid of what I would find when I went in there. So for now, I think I'm just going to put it on the wall and see if the wrinkles disappear. To me, sometimes that happens. But how cool is that? Like, this is Chinese calligraphy. So it is probably from China, but I don't know anything about when. And I just think it's so cool. So that's my haul. And so, okay, the only thing left is giveaways. So last time we gave away, Allison gave away this heart. It's called Precious Heart Collection by Anna Lee Waite Designs. And the winner is, which I'll show on the screen, is Melissa McConnell. So congratulations. She's won something on the channel before, so I know she'll see it and reach out to me, and I'll stick it in the mail. But I am going to stick it, I'm going to mail it not tracked, just like regular USPS mail. So let me know, send me an email to this email address. Let me know where to send it, because the last thing I think you won was like a gift card, an electronic gift cards. I don't think I have your information. But anyway, so let me know where you want me to send this, and I'll pop it in the mail. And then today's giveaway is a little bit different. So when I was going through one of the bundles I got of patterns on eBay that I listed, this was in there, but it had some water damage to the point where I didn't feel comfortable selling it. But it's, all the patterns are intact. Like I had to pull the pages apart. So there is damage. I'm not saying there's not damage. There's damage. Like I wouldn't sell it. But I still think it's cool. It's ideas for what to do with variegated floss. Now, there's instructions on how to use it too. But there are patterns in here. So there's this rose basket pattern. There is, it's Bargello pattern. It says Bargello pattern, but it is a cross stitch pattern of this Bargello pattern. And the patterns are all like little, a lot of them, because they expect you to repeat them with different floss choices. The cover is this color medallions. It's just this one little, pattern, but it gives you, each medallion is separated from the other medallions by 2 stitches. The number placement shown on the cover below for the booklet. So it gives you the DMC numbers if you want to do it exactly the way it is on the cover, but you could also do it any other way. Then you have this daffodils pattern. So especially if you have like a full set of DMC and you're like, when am I ever going to use these variegated threads? This booklet is specifically designed to use them. And then this pattern says, welcome, and the whole pattern's in here. So if you are interested in getting this, again, it is water damaged. So I think it's totally fine. Like if I thought I would stitch it, I would keep it in my collection, but it is water damaged. So don't complain when you're like, she sent me something water damaged. What I'm trying to do is save something that I don't think I can sell, but I don't think should be destroyed because I still think it's cool. If you think you'll stitch it, why not you use the term, just use DMC, because this is a DMC booklet. So just use the DMC, write it out just like this, DMC in your comment. And that'll be what I use to pick a random comment next time. Please don't use the word like giveaway or win. I have had to delete comments like that before, and then I feel bad. And you need to be at least 18 because you got to send me your address. And let's say the US, because sending things abroad has been expensive lately. I'll have some digital giveaways over the summer. I promise that will be open to everyone. But right now I can't be mailing stuff abroad. It gets a little pricey. We just sent some really nice giveaways to Canada and Finland, and I'm happy that they made it to those people. We need to shut the door on international giveaways where I'm mailing stuff that's this big. Also, like if I can find ones that are smaller too, I can probably, like if I can get away with putting it as like a $2 stamp, we'll find some of those. But right now, for this one, we're gonna do US only. If you made it to this point in the video, go to the smiley face emojis and leave whichever facial expression you're feeling right now. Lately, I've been a lot of like the upside down smiley face. It's just like, ooh. But I also usually, but in the past, I have been known to be more of a sunglass wearing smiley person. But anyway, leave your favorite smiley face. I'd love to know. I'd love to see how you guys are feeling. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Oh, if you want to become a member, the link is now below. And again, we will start the Zooms in May. And thank you guys so much.